Hello everyone, my name is Allan Nyaribo and I'm here to present my MSW capstone project. My project proposal is centered on help-seeking behavior of migrant populations living in the United States in the realm of mental health. My lived experience as a first-generation immigrant has significantly informed the trajectory of the research I undertook to conceptualize this project. Acculturation stress is the most significant mental health issue faced by many immigrants from East and Central Africa, a population that this project is targeting. We will not just seek to target that population, but we will seek to expand it to first-generation immigrants from different ethnicities who come to America eventually. Early on in my American journey 11 years ago, due to the advantage of having family already established in Washington state, my transition to the cultural expectations of American life was easy. This is not the case for many who make this journey. There are many nights that my wife and I have been woken up late at night by friends, relatives seeking help from anything from domestic violence to a child that has been dismissed from school due to what the parent felt was unfair treatment, or a single mom who is depressed and is battling feelings of loneliness and despair, or the father who got into an argument with a co-worker because he felt racially discriminated against and is now facing unemployment. All these instances impact the mental health of these individuals, sometimes severely. These experiences have led us to building an online community in which we share resources, referrals, and having a space in which we validate each other's experiences and also recognize that a lot of our stresses are similar in nature. My intervention seeks to fill this gap and make it a more formal way of help seeking through the development of a mobile phone application or web application whose objective is to increase help seeking behavior through traditional therapy, but adapted to accommodate the cultural leanings of this population. The major goal of this intervention is to expand access and utility of mental health services by immigrant populations from East and Central Africa. Here are some numbers that we came across during the research that we undertook for this project. In terms of utilization of mental health services, minority populations utilize mental health services at about half the rate of white adults. White adult usage stood at 15.6 to 17.1% when compared to Blacks or African American adults, whose utilization rate was at 7.3 to 8.6%, and Asian American adults at 4.9%. The foreign-born population in America is at a historic high, with 2010 census data showing an exponential increase of 53% from 26 million to 40 million as calculated by the Annual Social Economic Supplement of 2013. The supplement is derived from the US Census Bureau. The same report projects that by the year 2060, 1 in 5 American residents, that is 19% of the overall US population, will be foreign-born. The East African population is a fast-growing population within the continental United States. 2012 census data shows foreign-born US residents from Africa were estimated to number 1.6 million. This is data derived from the Department of Commerce and Economic Statistics. The importance of integrating mental health care service plans that incorporate acculturation stress, trauma related to immigration, and limited social support systems would go a long way into addressing the mental health concerns of this population, considering that they're already experiencing the physical stigma of their skin color because of the racial sentiments that we witness in the political climate today. The project is centered around two theoretical frameworks. The first one is the theory of stigma. The dominant theories of stigma situated around the moral sufferings of the bearers of the stigma. Stigma is described as a social response that is experienced when culture, power, and difference converge to perpetuate inequality as a means of maintaining the status quo. The second theory that is centered around this work is the conservation of resource theory. Resources are really important where this population is concerned because when they immigrate to America, they barely have anything or any material resources that they come with, not to mention a severely depleted social support system where they decide to settle. The conservation of resource theory postulates that individuals seek to protect resources, both material and social, and a diminishing lack or loss of these resources leads to stress. This theory goes further by suggesting that social identity is closely linked with an individual's relationship with others and the environment that they occupy. The intervention can be described as such. What we propose to do is the development of a cell phone or web application that delivers cultural, competent mental health services to migrant populations free of charge. The treatment modalities will be translated into Swahili, and gradually we will introduce dominant dialects from other migrant communities living in the United States. The delivery of these services via an application is at the core of removing feelings of stigma associated in engaging in help-seeking behavior that this population experiences because of the perception of ownership and control of that digital space that the application will offer. Embedded into the application will be a brief solution-focused therapeutic workbooks and exercises designed to mitigate common problems associated with acculturation stress. One of the biggest outcomes that we hope to achieve through the development and deployment of this app is increased engagement within the mobile application user interface of individuals seeking assistance when they are in a psychologically distressing event. Quantitatively, this should align or surpass by 2 to 3 percentage points of the national averages of engagement with services of the targeted population. An indicator that this has been achieved will be that this population will engage with the app that engages with our application will demonstrate an increased knowledge of appropriate strategies of how to deal with mental health crises. A criteria that this can be observed will be from the data collected from usage metrics through digital tools such as cookies. Now, this data must reflect an increased engagement with specific interventions designed to mitigate mental health crises. A second outcome that we're seeking from this intervention is a retention of the users of the web application through utility of digital web-based applications for various psychoeducational workbooks and exercises provided on the mobile phone application. A criteria that this can be measured: maintenance of a baseline as determined by previously collected data. An indicator that this has been achieved will be reasonable resolution of emergent crises with appropriate referrals made either long-term care or for crisis services. The development of this app is so critical because it will enable real-time collection of data through digital tools such as the use of cookies, login information, timestamps, and length of engagement and what their interaction with the app is. Thank you, everybody, and I'm looking forward to you supporting my intervention.